Alright. I have been waiting a long time to continue this story. By a long time, I mean a week. For those who are aware and watching this live, happy 4th of July. So, enjoy that holiday if you celebrate it. But for the rest of us, we're going to be doing a long stream. We're probably going... If the last stream of the story was anything to go about, this is going to take a while. It's probably going to be 4.5 hours. And I will find a point at around the 2-hour mark to 2.5-hour mark. We will try to cut off and do a small break, so that when we move on to the YouTube version of this for the VOD, it'll be broken up into 2 videos. Because I would prefer to not have to edit down something in my software, because my software hates 3-hour videos. So we're going to try to chop it up a bit. Who knows? But without further ado, let's begin. We left off, we finished Verdilia's story, and now I guess we've got to pick up with Lyelth. I have been tinkering around with Portalcraft between the last stream and now. I had made 3 different Portalcraft decks, and I liked none of them. I tried making a puppet deck, it was terrible. I tried making a resonance deck, it was arguably better, but still equally terrible. And now I have like a jank artifact thing going on, but it's very RNG based. I think it's good enough for the story mode, and I'm hoping that it is. But if the Verdilia story is anything to go off of, we will probably only have to use it once or twice. Here's hoping. God forbid we play card games in my card game. Chapter 1. Sweet Dreams.
Viewed objectively, the entirety of my life can be summed up in a single word.
Pain.
Failure.
Oh, that too.
I have betrayed all expectations, trampled all trust. I realize that now, but at the time, I thought I was on the right track.
Huh.
Is Father still away for his trip?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, we have a model for the mother. I just realized my brain didn't connect to that. They actually designed a model for her. Nice.
Oh.
How about I play with you instead? Hmm?
I figured that she would just be a
the
voice.
thing. Here. These marionettes just arrived, and...
Because usually they don't bother fleshing out these dead characters.
Mother, are you all right?
Oh, there's that human spine motif.
I'm sorry. I know you must be lonely. If only my heart would work properly.
No, Mother, I'm not lonely. I always have you to keep me company, and Father's study is full of books to read. I'm not lonely. Really.
I'm not lonely. I'm alone with you and books.
Right. You're such a sweet boy. You know that laugh?
Nice water.
Oh, my. It's time to put you to bed already. Sweet dreams, Lyelth. May tomorrow be every bit as wonderful as today.
So why did you marry the
For all
corpse
its
king?
spacious chambers, the mansion was usually only home to 2. Me and my sickly mother. My playmates were the treatises and magical implements in my father's study.
On the practical use of abbreviation and royal incantations. Didn't the last book have something about this? I should look it up.
I'm gonna drop that to -4 dB.
Funny, isn't it? No matter how miserable your environment, if you manage to convince yourself that's the way things should be, you get used to it. In time, the odd glyphs in the treatises started making sense. The magical implements worked once I got the hang of them. But one day,
She passed away.
for the first time in months, Father returned home. There was one book I just couldn't wrap my head around, so I took it to my father's study to ask him about it.
Father, I have a question about this book.
His eyes widened in disbelief before I finished speaking.
You read this book? You?
Yes, Father.
Oh, I see.
After muttering to himself, Father did something I never expected.
Not bad.
Interesting.
He rested his palm atop my head. I'll never forget its warmth, its weight.
This must be an important moment because they made a full CG for it. How's it going? Welcome to the stream.
Father?
You have a rare gift, my boy. Put it to good use for your old man's sake, won't you?
So we learned that in Verdilia's story that he actually can't use magic. So I'm wondering what the book he's talking about is.
Yes! Yes, Father!
I'm doing great.
After that, he began to speak to me from time to time.
Happy 4th of July.
It was hardly a regular occurrence, but it was a change nonetheless.
Use your peers as you would your own limbs. Your true foes will always be your superiors.
I really, really don't like this Cornelius guy.
To show anger or sadness is to be human. And to be human is to be weak. A true idol worthy of worship is always smiling.
We're playing Shadowverse. It is a card game, air quotes, because 90% of the game that we play on stream is just a visual novel.
Not all time spent is spent equally. Use your hours wisely to further your learning.
My father's teachings were difficult to comprehend, but always worth following.
It's one of the reasons why we always joke that, God forbid gameplay interrupt my book.
At last, I could be useful, worthy of his praise. That was all the motivation I needed. Every waking hour, I studied and studied until...
Look, Mother, look! According to a treatise I read, this incantation can be used to increase mana efficiency.
Uh-huh.
My, aren't you just the smartest boy in the kingdom?
And then everything changed.
I had Mother watch a magic experiment of mine. In hindsight, it was far beyond my abilities, but in the moment I could think only of how she would praise me.
Mother? Mother!
I haven't put too much thought into it.
We never figured out the exact correlation, but after being exposed to my magic, her condition grew ever worse.
It's not your fault, my dear.
That's nice to hear.
Mother always wore a smile even as she grew thinner by the day. Seeing her made me want to scream and cry. Instead, I buried myself in my studies. I ran from my sorrow by devoting myself to the one thing I could still rely on.
I believe
My
I do,
magic.
yes.
But then, even that abandoned me. Mother's doctor scrutinized my body for a sign, a defect, anything.
I wonder what the friend limit is on Discord, because I'm pretty sure I'm probably close
The
to
mana
hitting it
gauge
if there
isn't
is one.
responding at all. It's almost as if your son has lost his mana entirely.
What?
His words paralyzed me. I couldn't believe it. Without magic, I was no more than a useless child. Father came home that night. I told him the news, prepared for the worst. Would he be angry? Mournful?
I usually
All
try not to
possible
add
reactions
friends.
seemed equally terrifying.
Oh, I see.
What?
I'll never forget the look on my father's face.
Well, such is life. We are always learning and experiencing new things.
He looked oddly satisfied. His lips even bent into a smile. I worried I'd betrayed his expectations, but there were none to betray. I feared I'd lost his interest, but there was none to lose.
Father...
You showed sufficient aptitude for mana, but alas, experiments do not always proceed as planned.
Okay, so he did have aptitude and he lost it. Nah, that changes a lot of what I thought of the character.
No matter.
No! Father, wait!
Live your life as you see fit. You are free to go.
His voice in that moment sounded gentler than ever before. It was also the dullest tone his voice had ever taken. I became an empty shell, neither studying nor training. Each day a repeat of the last, waking only to languish in nothingness before falling back into slumber. But before long, my acedia earned me divine retribution.
Mother, wake up! Please!
There she goes!
Ironic, isn't it? I had no will to live, yet here I am. Meanwhile, my mother, who fought with each breath to remain in this world...
I'm sorry, my dear Lyelth. I wish I could stay to see all the wonderful things you'll grow up to do.
No, don't say that, Mother!
I ask only that you keep these with you. The marionettes I've poured my heart into.
The article that we read as Verdilia said that they were like some ancient relic. So what did she do to them?
They will keep you safe. I am sure of it.
Man, it sounds like they recorded this in a hospital bed, quite literally. The voice acting does not get enough credit in this game.
By the time Father came home, all the warmth had left her body. And all he had to say was,
How disappointing.
Well, it was
Ooh.
about time.
Oh, that's just as bad.
I can finally move along with my plans.
Oh, that's worse.
I hadn't the faintest clue what he meant, or what foul sorcery he was working upon Mother's body.
Well, whatever it is, it's not good.
I simply stood there and watched, unable to believe what was happening before my eyes.
Mother?
Yes, marvelous potential, just as I predicted. This specimen will make a fine soldier for my undead army.
I mean, they call him the Corpse King for a reason.
Father? What is that thing?
It's your mom's body, soul thing.
Thing? How rude of you, boy. I should think you were quite fond of your mother.
It looked exactly like my mother, yet at the same time, couldn't have been more different.
You see, your mother married into our household for this very purpose.
Really?
And now she has fulfilled it. Quite well, I might add. What is there to lament? She will prove far more useful dead than alive. Indeed, she shall be among the most deadly of the soldiers lying dormant at the academy.
Soldiers at the academy? This runs deep. Someone needs to shut this school down.
You look ghastly. Smile, boy. Have you forgotten what I taught you?
I...
Yep.
ran.
That's a logical
Away
response.
from my father as fast as my legs could carry me, clutching only Mother's puppets tight to my chest. I couldn't stop him. Couldn't even reproach him. How could I when I meant nothing to him? He married Mother only to use her as fodder for his necromancy, and I was no more than a side product in his wicked experiment.
Yep. In case it wasn't clear enough how evil that man was.
But even so, we were family.
Define family.
Watch me, Mother. I'll use your puppets, and
I'll hope you finish that sentence someday. Alright. That's one chapter clear. No gameplay yet. But I'm still enthralled by the story. Immaculate Armor, Chapter 2. So the story branched out
Before
after this
that
point.
professor started poking her nose in my business.
So I'm expecting this is going to be the start of another branch path. So let's see where it goes.
I saw the academy as a place not of learning or camaraderie, but of war. Inhale and exhale, as if reminding myself how to breathe. In and out, every time I stood before the classroom door. Because once I crossed that threshold, I had to be Prefect Lyelth.
I love that I have to manually click in this game. It doesn't have an auto.
I am Lyelth, idol of the
I mean,
independents.
actually it does. But I wish I could do it with like a hotkey. I wish I didn't have to actually go into the menu and do it.
Any gap between self-image and external image is a weakness.
Because like almost all visual novels, it's menu log auto skip, not just menu log skip. And there's usually a hide button somewhere too, but it's kind of weird that there's no hide. Oh. And subtitles during cutscenes. Cutscenes don't happen all that often. I can't even remember how many cutscenes I've actually witnessed.
So I conjured forth from my imagination a new Lyelth.
Yep, it's time to put on a show. An idol that always smiles is something to behold.
He was a mage who wielded mysterious magic. A model student with enviable grades, an amicable demeanor, and the respect of his peers.
Well, you earned that last bit.
In creating him, I pictured a suit of armor. Thick armor, capable of concealing every flaw, every weakness. And when I donned it, for the first time, I could be somebody.
We all wear masks.
Use your peers as you would your own limbs. Your true foes will always be your superiors. To show anger or sadness is to be human, and to be human is to be weak. A true idol worthy of worship is always smiling.
The thing that makes it the worst for me is he's right.
Father. My thoughts, my persona, all of it goes back to his teachings. I pretended not to see the obvious contradiction in what I was trying to accomplish, to defeat one's teacher using his own teachings. But paradox or not, I had no choice. I would see my task through.
So this is taking place supposedly after the Verdelia story mode, which is neat, because normally these stories, it's more of we get to go to the beginning and we see them from the different perspectives. But this is him narrating past tense.
Good morning, everybody.
So I think we're still going to see some of the events.
Hey, Lyelth. Hope you came ready to teach us more today.
Always. Leave it to me.
Prefect Lyelth, I have a question about your lesson the other day.
Please, ask away. I devoted myself to my peers. The Independents valued autonomy over hierarchy, so commanding their respect required trust. But that was not enough to fully realize Father's teachings. Now then, let us begin today's lesson.
I'm
Everybody,
surprised you're following your
please be
father's
seated.
teachings at all, despite how much you hate him.
Whatever you say, boss man.
Boss man.
Yes, sir!
Today, we will be learning about the practical applications of abbreviated incantations. I needed something more. A chance to display my strength for all to see.
And this is where you ended up dueling that teacher. Or is this where Verdelia showed up?
Tangible proof of my power. Proof that I lived for a reason.
Yep, this is, this is what we heard about happening during Verdelia's story.
So you're the kid playing professor, are you?
Oh, a visitor. Pray tell, sir, what business do you have in the West Tower? I believe the autonomy of our track has been acknowledged by the headmaster himself.
Don't think you can fool me. We received an anonymous tip. A student among the Independents is teaching the other children how to fight, plotting to incite them to riot.
Fascinating.
This class is dismissed permanently. Any actions portending mass violence are strictly prohibited.
Very well then. I will revise today's lesson plan.
Are you deaf, boy? I said permanent.
Professor, you are welcome to join this lesson as my sparring partner. I shall demonstrate exactly why students needn't answer to you.
Excuse me?
I'm sad that they use the generic model and this professor doesn't have a name.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Lyelth, have you lost your mind?
Prefect Lyelth.
Your enemies will always be your superiors.
Preposterous. Why should I have to spar with the likes of you?
Scared, Professor? Scared of losing to a student?
He's going to lose. We already know how this plays out.
What did you just say?
You are free to run on back to the East Tower if you so wish. Then all shall know just how useful your teachings are.
Why, you impudent little... I hope you're prepared for this.
Why, of course. More prepared than you, I dare say.
Fine. You can have your little duel. What's the starting signal?
There are no starting signals in real life, Professor. Begin when you see fit.
But then again, there are starting signals in duels, though.
Ha! He says as he doesn't even bother to refine his mana. My lightning magic will have you on the floor begging for mercy. But not to worry. I'll make sure you're only knocked out for an hour.
The history of magic can be aptly renamed the history of warfare. The steady progress of inventing ways to cast magic ever faster, to ever greater effect.
Yep.
For all it takes is one swift spell to decide the outcome of any duel. Such is the power of magic. A power forever lost to me.
Yep, and we're still hearing the internal monologue.
But mages have a fatal weakness. Their absolute faith in the power of magic blinds them to the power of all else.
What's wrong, boy? Are empty threats all you can cast?
My taunts had thrown the professor into a vengeful rage, and in it he forgot the most fundamental of lessons. Always strike first.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. It's not as ironclad a rule as possible. There's a lot of benefits to striking first, but it isn't the be-all, end-all of combat.
All those long hours in Father's study paid off. I knew exactly what to expect from a duel, and I knew better than to underestimate a mage. But he underestimated me, and he got what he deserved. Too slow!
Impossible. There was no mana.
Or perhaps your eyes were simply too dull to see it.
Ah!
It was the first time I used this weapon of mine on another human being. But I took care not to let my trembling hands show. To onlookers, I was a daring challenger casually defeating his opponent. As you can see, my fellow students, a professor is nothing to be feared on an actual field of battle. Follow me, and I shall lead Lainecrest to a new future.
Alright, that was short and it didn't branch. And we're getting a reward here. Maybe this will be a short playthrough. Maybe it was only Verdilia's where we had all the branching paths. Maybe I won't have to dedicate 5 hours to this stream.
My daily routine after running away from home was simple. Wake, train, sleep. The marionettes had immense potential. They responded to the slightest movements of my fingertips, glided swift as the wind. It took hours upon hours to get used to their speed. But I didn't give up. Mother's mana coursed through their strings like a pulse. Lifeline, granting me courage.
That's what she did to the puppets. It's her mana that's operating them, not his.
As days turned into weeks, weeks to months, and months to years, I gradually learned to manipulate my puppets as if they were extensions of my own body.
That is how you should always treat a weapon, as an extension of yourself.
I'm ready. At last, I had become old enough to enroll in Lainecrest. There was a mana examination as part of the admissions process, but no professor would dare fail the headmaster's son.
Makes sense.
They were all the same, those proctors.
Nepotism.
They saw me not for who I was, but for my status. Father was right. My own identity was nothing. As far as the world was concerned, I was just the headmaster's son. It worked to my advantage, though. No one suspected he had already cast me out.
Which is weird. So if all the professors knew, why did Verdilia not know right off the bat? Why did we have to literally ask the headmaster to confirm that?
And so I enrolled, burning with the desire to change Father's Academy from the inside, to destroy all that he cherished.
I don't think he cherishes this academy all that much.
Or at least, that's what I told myself.
I think this entire academy is an experiment to him. A means to an end.
And that's what you've lost sight of. You're so focused on fighting Cornelius, you don't know what you're fighting him for. Lyelth, what does victory over that old man mean to you?
Ever since she showed up, I don't know what to think. Inhale and exhale.
Time for
My
class.
nerves won't settle down. For the first time, I have to stand before them without my armor. No more posturing. It's high time I made amends for my lies. Well, let's just get this over with.
Wait, you serious? You're kidding me.
I mean, I don't know for sure either, but...
Good morning, everybody.
Lyelth, you're all right.
Oh, thank goodness! I knew we couldn't be telling the truth.
Has something happened while I was gone?
I bet they're spreading rumors about the whole teacher duel thing.
Well, some professor called Vice showed up out of nowhere and was saying, like, really weird stuff about you.
Oh god, I hate that man.
He said you lost to a professor. You know, that woman? But you're back safe now. So that was all a lie, wasn't it?
Oh no, I lost that duel fair and square.
I see. Thank you. Vice? I've seen that name on the staff roster, but... So the professors thought I'd try to cover up my loss, huh? Just goes to show how little they think of me. It's true. I lost to Professor Verdilia in an official duel.
You what?
No way!
Respect can be earned in more than one way.
And as part of the deal we made, I will be transferring classes. I've come to say goodbye.
But Lyelth, you beat a professor before, didn't you?
Yeah, you can't lose! No one can even see your magic!
You're right. Professor Verdilia couldn't see my magic. But unlike the professor I defeated before, she could see me for who I really was. I fought with all my strength and lost. That is a fact.
It also doesn't... You could also bring up the fact... You could sell yourself up a little bit more. She was effectively using godlike power to defeat you, so... It's not like it was a fair fight to begin with.
No. You're joking, right?
If anything's been a joke, it's the persona I've created.
Prefect Lyelth?
Oh, he's gonna come clean.
I wanted to gain your trust and thought playing the role of a model student would be the most effective way to do it.
Oh no, the sad music's back.
But that wasn't enough. If I wanted people to fight my rebellion, I needed more than just charisma. So I dueled a professor as a demonstration of my strength. And as a message to the headmaster. My father.
Father? What?
The headmaster? You mean to say...
I am the son of the Corpse King.
Yes, I'm Headmaster Cornelius's son. And I'm sorry for hiding that from you. I assure you, though, our relation is all the more reason I have to defeat him. I was planning to train you all and use you to take down the professors. To achieve victory. My victory. I see now that it was never truly ours.
Oof.
Oh.
I hope they don't hate him for this, because it takes a lot of bravery, talent, and a lot of motivation, really, to come clean about something like this. Hey, I was using all of you.
And so, I've decided to rethink my methods. I want to learn how to defeat my father. Not as your prefect or idol, but as myself. Lyelth.
Defeat the headmaster? But that's impossible!
Maybe. I don't know. I have yet to see a demonstration of his power yet.
It is. At least according to Professor Verdilia. It won't be easy, but I'll be in good hands. I'm sorry I dragged you all into this. Goodbye.
I mean, you're joining her class. There's nothing that says you can't come back here and, like, teach or participate in the independent study program, but sure, whatever. I'm mostly concerned about what's going on with the student council president, but I guess we'll get into that in Amaryllis' story.
Lyelth!
A dramatic farewell. And for what? They care about me about as much as Father did.
No, I bet they care about you way more than he did. Because he didn't care about you at all. And even 1 is greater than 0 on an infinite scale.
Oh, I see. Well, such is life. We are all...
Yeah,
I was
we
a
get it.
distant leader to them, not a friend. And no secret I reveal can undo.
A distant leader, though, is still better than the relationship you had with your dad.
Before you go, I just wanted to say,
Thank you.
thanks for telling us everything.
Honesty is a great tool.
You can do it. I know you can. So, anyway, good luck.
Hey, the sad music's gone.
And I, also wanted to say thank you for everything. I hate to see you go, but I'll be cheering you on. Good luck.
Good luck?
There's more than one way to garner support, Lyelth.
I never had to pretend. Did I? Thanks, everybody. Victory will be mine. I promise. Hey.
So this is gonna be, I'm assuming, right where the Verdelia story ended, is right around here.
Get everything sorted out? You're looking better.
Do I? Well, I guess I'm feeling pretty good. After hurting Mother and being rejected by Father, I thought I was done with magic forever. All this time I was terrified. Of being a disappointment, of being cast aside, but now I'm a little more confident. I have people who believe in me. So I know. I can still grow stronger yet.
You always had people who believed in you. You just saw them as tools up until now, though.
Good to hear. Looking forward to seeing what you accomplish this term.
All right. I won't hold back.
Better not. 'Cause I won't either.
This time, I'll be learning in a classroom where I won't feel so suffocated. Learning how to defeat Father. And what that victory really means. Watch me, Mother. I'm going to become stronger. In the true sense
Oh, he's
of the
actually
word.
saying this. This isn't in his head anymore. And we have the sleeves. That was it. Wow. That was very short compared to Amarilla to Verdilia's. Well, I didn't expect to do this. Okay, we didn't even have to do a single kind of card game. There are no card games in this card game. Gameplay? What's that? Okay. Well, I was not expecting that in the least. Well, so I guess since we're here and it's so short, I guess we can start the Amaryllis story. So let's just take a short break. And when we get back, we'll resume the Amaryllis story.